The nature trails that lay across the hills were a popular attraction amongst hikers from the nearby town. On a Saturday morning, three friends decided to go on a stroll, visiting the lake not too far from there. But the lovely walk was soon interrupted when they saw a wounded person leaning against a tree. They ran to his aid, offering him water and asking who he was. One of the three called an ambulance as the others tried their best to comfort the man who rambled on about an animal attack. The authorities arrived and took over. The paramedics decided it would be best to transport the wounded man to the nearest hospital. The three hikers were questioned by police about what they heard the man say. According to the wounded man, he was not alone. It was his partner who was attacked as well, but who he lost in the confusion and panic. The police started the search around the nearby nature trails, but could not find anything. The truth was that the partner had already succumbed to his wounds as he lay dead at the edge of the river, his blood mixing with the water. The same water that was used as a source for the town's drinking water, including the nearby senior house where they were holding an outdoor gathering. Meanwhile, at the local hospital, panic had broken out as the wounded man came back to life after being declared dead and attacked several of the staff. Some made it out alive, but those who perished from their wounds came back to life as well, spreading whatever their bodies carried around. Some police nearby answered the call for help, but many of the walkers did not go down no matter how many times their bodies got shredded with bullets. Back at the senior house, similar events were unfolding as those who drank some of the tap water had turned as well. Fear spread rampant as people tried to run away, but some found themselves trapped, eventually being devoured by the undead. The virus that brought them back to life was moving like wildfire. In the heart of the city, the infected had multiplied rapidly in the hundreds. The local forces tried their best to withstand the horde of terror and was successful for a long time, but eventually got surrounded and ripped to pieces. The news of the outbreak had reached authorities and the highest level of alert was raised. Citizens were strongly advised to evacuate the area. There were few who chose to take up arms themselves, but got quickly overrun. Many families and households took what little they could carry to their car and make a run for it. But the roads would soon be clogged up with all those trying to escape, resulting in traffic jams as far as the eye could see. From the back column of the row of vehicles, loud screams and weird sounds could be heard as a large amount of citizens ran frantically between traffic trying to get to safety. For the zombies had reached the main road as well and started attacking citizens in their cars. The overwhelming amount clung themselves to the metal, bending and destroying the vehicles. Eventually it led to a loud chain reaction of explosions, leaving smoke, rubble and burning carcasses on the ground. The chaos was complete. Through the black smoke, zombies and regular citizens made their way over piles of bodies. Family members got separated and cars crushed both living and undead as they mowed down entire crowds in their state of fear. It was clear that the situation was out of control, resulting in the army to send out their units to the city. Many civilians were still trapped as they refused to leave the safety of their vehicles, but could only move inches at a time as they tried to force themselves through. As the military APCs reached the crowded road, they opened fire, mowing down hundreds in the blink of an eye. Many undead were stuck between the cars as well, biting and gnawing with great force, resulting in another terrifying accident. The huge amount of civilians in the vehicles made it difficult for the APCs to act, but they managed to keep the zombies at bay. Next up, the army would set up a perimeter and quarantine the town. But little did they know that some had already left into the wild.